Hello guys, James here. Oh, um, I want to make a video about these people having travel experiences. There's a couple videos, and I'm gonna let you hear their story about what they experience over it. And people are questioning why would you go over to a country that don't really want to accept your money, and they really don't like, you know, black people over there. And this time, the same thing they will encounter someplace like here in America, it's over there. So it's not just here, but or certain places. But these are people that decide to take a vacation, and when they get over there, people, they don't have they spend their money, but they're not very hospitable to people who are darker hue. So I'm gonna let you hear their story, and it's crazy, man. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, it was eye opening how some people how they have a discriminating practice for foreign. If you're white, you don't have too much of a problem. If you're black and traveling, whether you're from Africa or America or Britain, if you're a black person, they really don't particularly care for black people. So I was really shocked to hear about this. Um, and the really shocking thing is that some people go over there and there's people. Here it is. Here's the video. Her name is her channel is
Amid global market volatility, stock market losses, and rising inflation have left investors with few options. Ground Floor is here to help with a reliable way to earn cash while saving for the future.
Oh, it's coming on.
See, if I ever step foot in Malaysia again, my left kidney will shift. I would hate to have to come to your country and you up over some race.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Tumebilia. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So this video is for all my black people that want to explore the world. Here is a warning from this sister.
One thing I personally refuse to do as a black woman or as a black person is go to countries that I'm not wanted. I don't need to explore the most racist parts of Italy. For what? Pictures? Of a building? You must be crazy. Like, there's so many beautiful countries around the world that are so welcoming to black people, where there's little to no xenophobia or racism. Take me to those places. Let me go shake my ass on a yacht there. Like, if that makes me a nuisance to travel with, so be it. Because I refuse to pay good money, pay for a hotel, pay for a plane ticket, pay for the experiences that are there, just to go and experience this. Are you very stupid or something? And the thing that really kills me, wait. The thing that kills me is when people will say that, oh, you shouldn't let fear hold you back. You should go and take up space in these places, shed light in these dark areas. No. I refuse to be a pioneer, lose my life for a picture of the Colosseum. Are you crazy or something?
She's hilarious. The truth is, she's actually speaking facts. It does not make sense for you to actively go to a country where you know that black people are not welcome. Maybe like somehow you're thinking your experience will be different than other people that have said it outrightly, like I experienced anti-black behavior and prejudices in these places, and you want to still go there and choke your head and expect a different outcome. Anyway, before I talk too much, I'm just going to be playing people's commentary and stitches to her video. A lot of people even went ahead to talk about their own experiences in countries where they were not well received as black people. Let me go right ahead and play those videos.
I don't need to explore the most. I'm in total agreement with that lady had to say. Listen, I am not taking myself to a place where I know that I'm going to be actively discriminated against. Hell, in the famous word of the Afrobeat artist Burna Boy, I can't come and kill myself. Oh, no, we are not doing that. Oh, we are not. You think I'm going to carry my behind? I'm a hard-earned money to pump into a place that not actively discriminates against people like me, against this beautiful skin color? time I was living in France, all of my coworkers were telling me how great this place was going to be, how I needed to go, how I needed to make sure I booked a trip here. So it never dawned on me that none of these people giving me the advice looked like me. It just never crossed my mind. So I booked a ticket to none other than Istanbul, Turkey, and it was literally the worst trip of my life. I've never wanted to leave a vacation before, and I've never wanted to leave a vacation since. But I wanted to get up out of Istanbul, like, expeditiously. The looks me and my daughter were getting were crazy. It felt like the men were looking through our clothes, and we were fully dressed in the summer. The only thing exposed was our hands and our faces. Not only did I have on long sleeves, long pants, I also had a scarf draped over my body so that none of my figure showed. But when I tell you these men were looking through my clothes, it was disgusting. They refused to pick me and my daughter up from the airport, even though it was prearranged. They tried to snatch a shopping bag from my daughter. They threw rocks at my daughter. We had a man who was speaking his native tongue to a friend on the sidewalk. As we get closer, he switches to English and he says to his friend, "Why are they here?" So he wanted us to hear what he was saying. It got to the point where I refused to spend money. I stayed in my room and I did not spend further money after like the second day. We only spent money to eat, that's it. Because what you're not gonna do is have me out here in your country and you treat me poorly, but I'm spending my money? No. Additionally, the looks on the public transportation. So when I travel, I like to take public transportation. I don't like private car everywhere because I like to see the town, be with the people. So we would take trams, buses, subways, etc. The looks, the vile looks these people were giving us. Insane, like daggers. Also, because of whatever was going on at customs, immigrations, we missed our flight back to France. We successfully boarded in Istanbul. We had a layover in Germany. We get to Germany and the security guy is like giving us like weird looks, not believing our passports were really ours. Like, are you the people in the photo? He did not believe my daughter was my daughter. I think maybe he thought I was trafficking her. I don't know. But we literally missed our connecting flight dealing with this man because he did not want to let us into Germany from Istanbul. Thankfully, I had a copy of my daughter's birth certificate on my phone, and that was the only way we got through Germany. So Istanbul missed me. I felt so unsafe. I will never be back.
For what? See, that country that they're calling Malaysia, never again in my life. Back in 2016, when I was still a student, I happened to be in Asia, and two of my closest friends were in school in Malaysia, so I hadn't seen them in like 5-6 years, so I was like, you know what, let me go and visit them. Popsy warned me. He said, stay one place, don't go anywhere. Did I listen? No. I carried my hard-earned money as a student working. You know what the kind of small money you make as a student? I used my like 1.5 year savings. I went to Malaysia. I get to Kuala Lumpur, no problems. Me and my friends were having the best time of our lives for like 3-4 days. So we decided, let's go island hopping in Sabah, which is also in Malaysia, by the way. So we climb another aeroplane and go to Sabah. Mind you, my two friends are Ugandan and Indian, so one of them is black. We get to Sabah, by the way, in the plane, people were staring at us like the black people. They had never seen black people in their lives. That should have been our first clue. Anyway, we get to Sabah. We go through immigration, which I don't understand why, because it's a domestic flight, but we go through immigration. My Ugandan friend and I hand over our passports to the immigration officers. Then they take the both of us, only the two of us, only two black people in the line. They take us into a separate room. So we are there alone. And then after a while, they come back in. They hand my friend's passport back to her, but they're like, for me, I'm not allowed to enter Sabah. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand why. He said, and I quote, we do not allow your kind here.
Damn.
I was like, okay, I don't want any problems. I'll go back to Kuala Lumpur. No big deal. They now asked me to come and pay for my own deportation. And I was like, you guys, you're not serious. I'm a student. We bought these tickets like 8 months ago. They were dirt cheap. I don't have money to pay for another ticket to go back. He was like, okay, you know what? We'll pay for you to go back. As if he was doing me a favor. Then when the time came for me to leave, I was given a police escort back onto the plane and sent back to Kuala Lumpur. My friends couldn't afford to come back with me, so I was left alone by myself in Kuala Lumpur for like 3 days. So to make the most of my time there, I decided, let me go out and see the city. Big mistake. mistake. When I would try and go out, the taxi cab would refuse to stop for me in the street because I was a black person. I would go to restaurants and wait staff would not take my order because they didn't want to talk to a black person. Listen, when I was finally leaving that country, on the queue to get onto the plane, 5 security agents in riot gear surrounded me, started asking me questions. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? They took my passport off me. They were flashing it with different lights to see whether my passport was fake. See, if I ever step foot in Malaysia again, my left kidney will shift.
Yeah, so I had the worst race experience in Italy. So I landed in Italy. I went to see some friends. I had a 2 weeks holiday for the first time ever, and I was so excited to go to Italy because it's known to be a very beautiful place. I landed the first day in Italy. I was on my own. My friends were supposed to follow me the next day. I had a hotel already booked and everything. At the airport, as we are exiting, out of everybody, there was so many people, out of everybody that was exiting with their luggages, I was the only black person at that particular time there. I was the only person that was approached by the police. And they came, stopped me, had to search me because they didn't trust me. They had to search me. I was so upset, and I was like, out of these people, why only me? They kept saying, oh yeah, it's procedure, oh it's procedure. They searched me, delayed me. It was horrible. It took so long. I just had to be quiet, and then I carried on later on. Eventually they let me go. I get to the hotel. The hotel was fine. I go upstairs, I drop my luggage. It was maybe 6 or 7 in the evening, and I was like, okay, I'm in the city center. I'm gonna go have something to eat at the restaurant somewhere there. I walked downstairs. I just literally exited the door, and as I walked out, I saw a bike. There was a bike that was passing me, 2 guys on it riding past me. They slowed down. They started yelling and screaming and saying the worst racist remarks against me like crazy. It was in Italian, but I speak French, so I could pick up some things. They called me prostitutes and many other just horrible things. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep quiet and let it go. But then, and I thought they left, they carried on. But I realized when they got to the corner, just like a few seconds ahead of me, they turned around and came back with speed. And they came trying to attack me. So I turned around and I ran back into the hotel. And I hid there. I couldn't go out the whole night to eat. I waited until my friends came the next day. That was my first experience in Italy, first day.
Pay for the experiences that are there.
I was just recently in the Maldives, Thailand, and Turkey, and I will never go back to Turkey, specifically Istanbul. And I know somebody's probably watching this like, good, we don't want you here. Which, fine, don't worry, you don't ever gotta worry about me again in Istanbul. I consider myself to be a well-traveled person. I've been to every continent except Australia and South America. And out of all the countries that I have traveled to, I have never felt so unwelcome, so uncomfortable, and honestly as unsafe as I did than when I was in Istanbul. If someone was barking at me on the street, someone was scowling at me. And when I say scowling, it's just staring, sneering, not feeling ever welcome, like anyone wanted me there, like I belonged there. And for reference, I wasn't traveling solo. I had my husband there who was with me, who is white, and he did not perceive any of this. He did not feel the same way I did. And it's funny because in that video, what she said that made me laugh was, you know, I pay good money to experience race. That's what I was thinking of a lot of the time that I was there. I was like, I took time off. I took PTO off. I used my days, my PTO days. I spent my money here. And this is what I'm experiencing. I'm a visitor in your country, and this is how I'm received. Like, what? And it's funny because at the end of the trip, when I got there, I was like, oh, I want to buy so many things. I want to spend. Your girl was ready to spend. But at the end, I was so drained and just so tired that I left and was like, I'm not buying anything. I'm not spending a single lira here, period. I loved the sights that I saw. I loved the history of the country. It was absolutely amazing. I'm a big history buff, so to see these places in real life was absolutely amazing. I took from that experience what I needed to take from it. I saw what I needed to see. And as for me, I will never be back. But if you want to travel there, that's good for you.
A black person.
I want to show you a video right quick. You're going to trip out. She said her husband was white, whatever. Watch this. And I'll get back to that channel.
Most hiring algorithms will
And he was just talking about
Some
this.
bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
So you got one of these sisters out here that was obviously dating a man of a different community, probably a zaddy, but things didn't work out too well for this particular woman. Let's review it.
So I went on a date earlier, and I look a mess because I took a nap because the date was so horrible. And it kind of reminded me of like, don't think being a black girl in Kentucky.
Black girl in Kentucky. 9 times out of 10, she was dating Zaddy. I can bet on that, but let's go.
It was a really, really good date, but at the end of it, he was like, I don't think it could be serious because my parents would never like accept you.
Yeah, and that's what they hear a lot. See, they don't like to tell you that part of it. It's when they tell them, look, you know, hey, I can fool with you. We could, you know, go and have relations or whatever. But as to something serious, I can't do that. Because, see, you have some of them getting on here calling black men bullet bags and all kind of things they call black men. But notice all of them that's talking don't have a white husband. Because people not going to accept them. Because we know that anti-black racism is what a lot of them practice. Not saying all, but a lot of them do. And they will not accept black people. And why would you want to be accepted around that? These women don't understand that when it comes to Zaddy, you can't produce little Emily and little Connor. You can't produce that. All you can produce is Drake and Alicia Keys. And Zaddy don't want Drake and Alicia Keys. He want Emily and Connor. So you are not a choice whatsoever. And his people collectively think of black people in the worst way. I said collectively, didn't say individuals. You got some great individuals. We're talking about the collective, and we have a documented history of how the collective thinks of black people. Let's continue.
And yeah, so it's very
Yeah, you hate it because you want to deal with Zaddy. Because I guarantee you, if you'll get you a brother that's from over there, I guarantee you no brother's family gonna say, oh, I can't accept her because she's black. No, but y'all want to date people that reject you like that. I've always said, just due to the documented history that we have here in America, I wouldn't want to deal with that issue and problem. Just wouldn't want to deal with it. It's way too much problems that in life for me to deal with something extra that I can eliminate. You know what I'm saying? And no woman is worth my time like that. Period. Of course, I've never been attracted to them like that at all. So it would have never been a choice anyway. But this is what a lot of, these, divestors deal with. But they don't come talking about that. I seen one of them that always talk about Zaddy, on YouTube. I thought it was kind of funny. Every 5 minutes she gets her Zaddy, then about a week, 2 weeks, she's on there crying and calling him names because he dumping her. Yeah, because all you are is a fetish to him. He's not gonna marry you. He want to marry the women in his community. Period. And the quicker you learn it, the better it is. But see, this is what I tell the brothers. You need to make a consequence when they do that. In other words, you find out they be dating Zaddy or have a relationship with Zaddy, say, oh, no, I can't fool with you. I can't. Now, you say why? You say for a woman, we talking about a woman, to submit herself to Zaddy after our history that we have in America, and you willingly submit to him to lay down. Nah, you go ahead and do what you're going to do. And usually them kind of women like that, they be the biggest pro-black you can ever see when they come back to, oh, yeah, man, black this and black lives matter. Like, man, get your behind over there where you at. It's like Meghan Markle. She was all happy to be around them people, but she got that good treatment, that good old black treatment. And now she don't want to be around them. They gonna show you real quick how they feel about you. But let me know what y'all think about, that.
nationality. The reason why I dated women from a different nationality, because I didn't want to be one of these people that
Hold on.
when you first time you meet.
Hold on. That's not the one I want to talk about. This one.
Some white guys is about to jump me and racist because it's something from the past that psychologically affects us in the present. What do I mean by that? It is because, we've seen it so much and we adapted so much that it's something that came from a generational curse.
Oh, this is the one I wanted. I made this video.
Getting, having this, stereotype animosity feeling towards. They have a lot of animosity, and for some reason, you have people that don't like other people because they speak a different language. But overall, most human beings don't like other human beings, and for some reason, because they feel like they think that they're better than them because they're not used to being around. One of the reasons why some people have bigotry because they've always been around in their particular neighborhood, or in some cases a country. Everybody that looks like them, speaks like them, talk like them, and have the same language. But when it comes to coming to a part of the world where every human being comes in, like, you come into the United States or Europe or someplace like that, there's more people than meets the eye, and you're going to come across people when you interact as far as business, as far as social, as far as economics. And it's just that it's really sad that you have people that are bigot because they just, it's in the DNA of some people. It's almost like it's in our human DNA to be a bigot towards somebody, find something that they don't like about another group of people. And in this society, and I agree with some people, it's like a totem pole effect. It's like the lighter you are, the whiter you are, you're all right. The darker you are, the more, if you look more African or they're African American, you get it the worse. And the reason why is because of stereotyping and something that they see on TV, and something that TV is the most powerful thing that changed the person's mind. TV is one of the most powerful weapons that man have ever used, because yes, it might bring you news and to alert you on some things, but at the same time, it brings you into a world where you start, and it paints a picture, and then you got people behind the media that paints the picture of other people that make them look bad too, and that's sometimes that they don't show the double standard side. And sometimes some people, when it comes to certain nationalities and whatever, they want to show the darker races as the most barbaric people of them all, and it's really sad. And then it puts a division among people, and it's unfortunately in some places, in some parts of the world, and maybe some parts of this country, that people can get along.
This is 4
but there's
years
always
ago.
going
I
to be
said
an
this.
animosity, and it's always going to be it because one group going to think another group is going to get ahead of another group because of finances, education, and economics. And it's funny how you can take, for example, black people in this country, and I'm addressing this because I'm a part of one of the races that the society kind of that there's a certain part of society that look down upon black people. So I wanted to address this. it's weird how you have certain, and it's not just white people. It's not just white people, not just all white people or these particular people. You have a little bit of everybody in the human DNA of the race that don't like, for example, don't like black people in this country. But they're good to see them on TV. They're good to listen to their music, but as long as like as far as have to really interact, the people who have a bigotry problem, that as far as interacting with them, they don't want to do that. And maybe one of the reasons why, because they're scared, because they're afraid of something that inside of them that they know is true and what is right, what they have to change. But the reality of it is that there's always going to be somebody who's a bigot. I mean, in every nationality, there's always going to be somebody, no matter, and you just can't put one person against another person, because in the human race it is. Every group of people that you see have good people and they have bad people that don't. Like, I mean, you can go to the 50 different nationalities. Well, probably, I don't know if it's 50, but 20 and 30 nationalities of people, and you're going to find that there's somebody's going to be a bigot. And it's almost guaranteed there's going to be someone's going to not like somebody simply because the color of their skin, simply because their nature, who they are as a person. And it's totally ridiculous, which I don't understand some people that they'll go to a part of the country or go around the people that they fear and that they're scared and they don't think highly of, but yet they put their business around people. And that's just something that I could never figure that out. That you can't, the side of, especially to the person that's a bigot, I never could figure that out. People who are bigot, why they want to go around people who they don't think highly of. And that's one of the things that among the human race of people, hey.
Somebody interrupted my live.
Hey, John, what's up? But it's it's just crazy, man. It's just how people are. They hate out of no reason. They just hate and you don't have to be doing nothing, but they already were raised to just not like somebody, to hate somebody. And I've encountered this from all different walks of life of people. And you can tell how can you tell? Just by the personality. As soon as you walk into the room, they just got this demeanor about themselves. They just, you don't even know the person. I mean, you just met the person. You just come into knowing who they are and everything. You just come into just meeting them for the first time or just shaking their hand. Automatically, they just don't like you for some reason, because, and 9 chances out of 10, it could be because of your personality, but sometimes they just simply just don't like you as soon as because you're an appearance. And so it is one of the craziest things I've ever encountered. And I've encountered this not just from white people. I've encountered this from some Hispanics. I've encountered this from some Arabic people. I've encountered this from African people. I've encountered this from people from India. I've encountered this from China, Japan, Korea, and you go on. And everybody has bigotry in them. Everybody has a prejudice in them. It's not one. I learned one thing on this planet is that one of my good friends is on here agreed. Everybody has some prejudice. Everybody has some form of prejudice. Everybody has a form of prejudice, and that is so true to this day. I've learned that just by a perception of it, and then what's really is something about it, but they don't mind putting their business around people who they have a great prejudice to. I mean, that's what I understand. If you have such a hatred towards a group of people, why you want them coming to your business or whatever? I don't understand it. Why would you go into a neighborhood where the people who are you look down as the least and don't have no favor why would you even go into a neighborhood where they feel like people that is criminally minded, they're not too bright, they're not too, they misguided, or they don't communicate right. And number one thing is because maybe they don't understand the language, and then so I feel that some people have their own point that's why everybody has their own separate communities, and that was basically in their own neighborhoods on far as the East Coast, because no one had to interact, and the people who had that kind of mindset, they kept to their own. They stayed to their own. They don't have to deal with other people, those people who thought like that. But it's just one of the things that some people try to make, and no matter how some people come off as liberal to conservative, there's a certain degree in inner side of a person, no matter how liberal that they are, they might have something come with the person who's conservative, who they would consider some people as a bigot, who are prejudiced. And it's very true. Some people are you'd be surprised that how much they have in common. For example, I'll give you one example. Like a conservative person may not like a topic about interracial relationship, and this is in the human race. This is go across the board of everybody. Some people might feel that this particular race should not get with this particular race, and you might say, well, why is that? Well, the person is justifying saying, well, these people that you're getting with, they're low down, they're not much educated, they don't have much education to themselves. They're always getting into some problems, they're always getting into some trouble, and it's just some people, and it's just something about the features in their nature that will blend out what the opposite, blend out of society. And some people who are liberal might disagree, but yet in a liberal family, it's the same way. Because if you look at their family, no one in their family is mixed. No one is in part of an interracial family. They mostly, everybody looks the same, so they really can't understand and adjust to it, because they're pretty much in the same categories to conservative to a certain degree. And this is what I've learned along the way. So nobody can justify one over the other, because and that's just keeping it real right there. Everybody has some type of prejudice and some type of prejudiced view. And when it comes to a topic like that, as far as two nationalities getting together in a corresponding relationship, and it happens more often. And it's not just a black and white thing. You have other nationalities don't really want to get with other nationalities, because number one is because they don't want to lose their language. Number two is that they figure that their culture, they're going to lose part of their culture. And if you get somebody of the opposite culture who don't speak their language, they'll have a cousin, then they have to, everything that they were raised, from generation after generation, in their culture that came into this country, or whatever country, it calls for change. And and some people don't want to change. And so they want to keep whatever, they don't mind, they don't mind, going into a place like a workplace or school place. But when it comes to friendship and a relationship, some people simply don't want. They simply don't want to interact. They don't want to come out their comfort zone, and they don't like to keep it real. And they just don't want to keep. It's just basically what they don't want to keep it real. And it's like, well, why? How come you feel that way? Why do you feel that way? It's just that this is their nature. And it's cool when they see you once in a while, and if they have to make brief blasé. But as far as really interacting on a level, most people of every different nationality basically have a bigotry, or basically a bigot in every, and you'd be surprised. And it's like, why don't you like these people? Well, it's just that it's just something that it was a hearsay. Basically, what they saw in the news, basically what someone told them, and they never really interacted with the people that they don't find too highly favor of. And it's the truth. No, they think less of us. So when they come across or they have a bad experience with somebody, but with an individual, because they can't exercise the brain and the common sense enough to know that just because you come across somebody doesn't mean that's going to be of that particular nationality. Don't mean that the next person in that nationality or ethnic background is going to act the same way. You have some people that so when they assume that way, they're just a nut. They're just a nutball. I mean, basically what it is, they just have this, this real narrow-minded thing about it. And it's just really crazy how someone can, just have this so low opinion. Of different groups of people. It's just, that's what I've learned along the way. Yeah, it's just really sad, and this is what I've encountered throughout my life. And sometimes it will bother me, but after a while you just get over it. You just have to accept that people are people. And just pray that one day they'll break that mindset. That they come up out of it. But some people that they don't want to come up out of it. They want to stay in their comfort zone. And it's really sad that throughout my life I've encountered with people just by how do you know a person is another way of person's presence? Just by their body reaction. The first thing they do, you can see it right in they can't even hide it. They can't hide and discuss. Some people when you go into their business and when you go into their establishment or whatever, the presumption is already they don't think highly of you, but they do it with a smile. I have even walked in certain businesses that, they purposely kind of ignore you until you come across them or something, like till they have to encounter with you. And I'm not really patronizing that business to spend my money. I'm going it just for someone else because I'm doing something for a company or something like that. And it's the craziest thing, and that people have to look at each other like that. And it's just, it's really sad. It's really messed up when you think more about it. And it's not just here. I've heard cases over in different parts of the world through social media, how people respond to other people. You got people, for example, in Africa, that you have Asian people, Chinese particular people, and it's not just them, but there's groups of people that don't like Africans, but they in Africa. They don't think highly of it, but you in the land where it's people that is of that land. And you figure by Chinese being so smart that, why would you go to a land and discriminate against the people of the land? Which that don't make for sense for any group of people to go to someone's country and not like them, but yet you want to do business with them, and just you disrespect them and just devour them. And you have other groups of people like Chinese people do that to the Africans. And I don't think that. If you don't like somebody, keep your butt in your home country. If you don't like these people, or why you would go to another part where the majority of the land is occupied by Africans. That's what gets me is or whatever country, because I mean, yes, there might be Europeans over there, but it's not like the majority of Europeans is over there. I mean, it's just a few European and maybe Middle Eastern business people is over there, but realistically, you Asian, you Chinese, and you going over with this bigoted attitude. This is not reflected to all Chinese people, but the ones who do. But yet you going over this with this bigoted attitude into a country like Africa, in some cases like Haiti. And, that's what's really. You're right.
I want to show you something right quick.
Ohio State residents, if
So
you have a utility meter
of,
like this on the side of your house,
what is it like
you can get paid to go solar
to be
for
customer?
no money.
So one of our sisters that work at Texas Roadhouse is going to detail what happened when one of the brothers had to serve a table full of white supremacists in Confederate gear. Let's go roll that.
Story time. A party full of people wearing Confederate flag gear just tried to eat in our restaurant. Now, when I say a family decked out in Confederate flag gear, they literally had what could have been a 2-year-old baby in a Confederate flag hoodie or whatever, and then under that, he has a Confederate flag onesie on. Like, it is never that deep, ever. And then other people that have hoodies, hats, all this, and they're sitting in the middle of the restaurant too, which is just a terrible coincidence. And to top it off, one of our black servers had to take them because their section buddy was a white girl, but she took the last party and got stamped. I guess it wasn't good, so I guess he had to take it, whatever. So the whole time he's there, he said they're not talking to him, they're not really looking at him, they're inward this, inward that, while he's there at the table, y'all. While he's there at the table, like they're not even trying to be quiet, they're not even trying to stop. And this server is a server that's always happy, loud, outgoing, making sure everybody's good. He'll be like, you need help, like, and he'll literally go out of his way to help. And when he got quiet, like, we knew something was, like, wrong. So we're like, where's he at, and all this, and this man, he ended up going outside crying, and this is a grown-ass man, like, he ended up going outside crying. And their bill gets to almost $500, right? Obviously, they're ignoring this man. Obviously, they're not going to give him a tip. We're a server now. We live on our So, a couple of us, we got a couple servers around, and that, like, gave in and tipped in because a $500, $400 check, he should have almost gotten $100 off of them, basically. And he still served them. He didn't throw a fit. He didn't do nothing and all that, which props to him. Because I would have been at that table, I would have heard the N-word, and I would have truly props to him. Because your girl, it would have been over. So obviously, all these other servers, those people, they're like, what's going on? What's happening? And we're telling them, and they're livid. They're like, why are they even still here? Why are we even still serving? It's one thing to come in what you believe in, I guess, whatever you want to say. I know everybody's not going to see eye to eye on everything. Sure, cool. You want to wear that? Okay. I don't know why. But the fact that you're N-word dropping, all this, all that, they made their kids stop talking to this server too. The kids, they don't know they're trying to talk. They were like, shut up, stop talking to him. The baby was looking at my friend, and they started staring my friend down. She's black, of course, because she's looking at the baby, and it's literally never that deep. And they were even rude to the managers, y'all, or white managers. They were even rude to them. Like, at that point, you're just dirty, you're just nasty.
Black people, let me tell you something. You never allow them to disturb your peace. You can't tell your employer, no, I'm not doing that. Because that is wrong. I'm not going over there with them. They are white supremacists. She said they were saying the N-word constantly. First of all, if Texas Roadhouse and their management was anything worth visiting, they should have saw them at the door and said, you can't come in here. We don't serve customers like you. That's wrong. That's against our values. all people are welcome, and what you're wearing right now and what you're doing, that's not welcoming to all our customers.
Other servers, for those people, they're like, what's going on? What's happening? And we're telling them, and they're livid. They're like, why are they even so here? Why are we even so serving? It's one thing to come in what you believe in, I guess, whatever you want to say. I know everybody's not going to see eye to eye on everything. Sure, cool. You want to wear that? Okay. I don't know why. But the fact that you're N-word dropping, all this, all that, they made their kids stop talking to this server too. You know, the kids, they don't know they're trying to talk. They were like, shut up, stop talking to him.
They should have told them. Also, we have policies that does not allow discrimination. And what you're doing is being very discriminatory, especially to our black employees. So no, you can't come in here. And that's how it should have been handled. Now, she said that when they called over the white managers, they was treating them bad, but they shouldn't even got it in the first place.
Right.
And for sure, as a black person, I wouldn't have served them.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm not serving them. I don't care what you say. I'm not doing it. Fire me if you want. You can fire me because I'm not going to be subjected to that. Now, the brother was subjected to it. They say he got quiet. It hurt him and all that. Now, see, if I was that brother, I'll sue Texas Roadhouse right then and there because you purposely subjected me to racialized abuse. And you're going to have to pay for that. You will have to pay because you allowed them in the restaurant. You got me to serve them. They kept saying the N-word. Come on, like I said, I don't understand them people because you call a black person N-word, you know, they can put some in your food.
Like, we got a couple servers around and that like gave in and tipped in because of $540 check. You know, he should have almost gotten $100 off of them basically. And he still served them. He didn't throw a fit. He didn't do nothing and all that, which props to him. Because I would have been at that table, I would have heard the N-word and I would have.
Now I'm going to show you something. Why I made that video. Why I made that video. And people don't believe it when I say it. So that's why I kind of interrupt and kind of show people like this stuff is real.
The other one is black men who travel and they travel outside to go to different parts of the world. That's it.
I'm sorry, that was the wrong video. Let me go back to that video I had. That's where this comes from.
I was thinking about this the other day. This other black dude who I went to school with, we went to the same high school. He wouldn't even grab my back, and I didn't even do nothing to these guys. I didn't even provoke them. I just mind my own business. I just did what the school teacher asked us to do. I didn't, make fun of them or just. I really didn't try to really associate. Just be cordial and friendly. So he's talking about they're gonna come to jump me. And Kerry, what was his name at the time, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. Figured that he would grab my back if they were about to jump me. These about 4 white boys about to jump me. So, needless to say, there was a black dude from another school that went to another high school. And one day I was kind of nervous and kind of upset because I'm kind of concerned. Like, man, I told this other black dude, we had a vocational school in Warren, Ohio. And I said, these white boys about to jump me, man. And I ain't messing with them. I'm by myself. So this one black dude, he's from La Brea. He was like, show me who he is. And so I pointed him out which ones was which. And I don't know what he might have had his own crew. He said, hey, and I heard him he walked up to me. So you got a problem with my cousin? And soon as they backed up, they kind of backed down. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. But Kerry, who was black, supposed to be from the same high school, same classroom and everything, didn't even grab my back. So he took on the Sambo mentality. pretty much he took on the Sambo. And so you'd be surprised, man. Sometimes because some black people that you see in the suburb, you think they're gonna grab your back. That's not always the case because they take on the same mindset. They don't want to be involved in the fight. It's just sooner or later they get conflicted with racism themselves in some form or fashion. And that was one incident. And so, and I guess the mentality I had at the time was I just wanted friends. And my self-esteem got so low that I would put up with shit, even if it was racial jokes, you know. And it was just, it was really, it had a lot, not knowing who I was as a person, not having enough strength, of inner strength, of being a king and stand up and say, hey, I am who I am. And somehow, I think when I look back what it was, it happened after my father died. And I just let, you looking out for someone to be a friend. And instead of going back to the inner city and hooking up my old friends, some that were black, there was nobody really around that I could really lean on and hang in there and trust at the time. So I've been around this so-called white friend that I had, and he was a so-called white friend because everything he do was crack racial jokes and stuff like that. But But the funny part about people like that, they're not racist. But it's something subconsciously they are racist. They are racist. You have a lot of subconscious people, especially when it comes to some white people who are racist. They're racist, and they won't even acknowledge it. And when they start cracking racial jokes, or they start innuendo, or making just little statements, or like one time, and they could be happening. Sometimes they'd be direct with it. Sometimes they'd just be talking with you, having a conversation. And it was one case where I was driving this woman to the clinic because I was working for a transportation company. She just come out this, and so she was just describing what was going on with the transportation and how her boyfriend or husband had to, keep the car running. And guess what terminology she used? She called it nigger rig the car. I was kind of shocked. I was like, damn, just come on out this. But so in other words, the terminology of that nigger rig the car, basically, that's what they use. They use terminologies like that. And that's just a code that some white people use. That's one of the little codes that they use. The ones that are prejudiced. And there's certain things you pick up along the way. And then you have some people who they just never, no matter what, there's always going to be some people just don't get it. Until you get to a certain age point in your life, until life really show you that this is it. It's right in front of your face when it comes to racism in the present time that is coming from the past time. And I kind of agree with some people. I'm glad you have a Donald Trump in there because he let you know what the deep down what the people the race is about. And now people emboldened to just come out who have that inner race. You're starting to see the ones that's coming out with that inner race stuff. And then once they open, it's almost like they open up their eyes. It's like they switch their mind just switch it like, oh, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I'm not. Yes, you is. You're racist. Just go ahead and man up and admit that you're racist. And that's the people that makes me mad. Hey, I respect the person more if they say, hey, I'm a white supremacist, I'm Ku Klux Klan, I'm a racist. Period. I could kind of somewhat respect something like that. At least the person let you know where they stand at. But it's the worst kind of racist. It's the ones they would deny it. They'll try to be your friend. They'll try to justify in every kind of way why they're not racist in the present time. But this is always going on. And how it affects black people is because we've been called the N-word so much, we've used in our own terminology when we talking to about one another. That's how psychologically, how racism did in America and different parts of the world. That's the truth. And so there's different forms of racism. I've encountered here in Columbus, and I've encountered in Cincinnati where I lived at. This was another form of rape. My neighbor, I had an ex-neighbor. That he seemed like he was a cool dude, right? Yeah, this was in Cincinnati, particularly in Coleraine Township down there. I was living in Coleraine, a suburb outside of Cincinnati. And so, as we get to talking, and he come down, I live next door to him, say, hey, hey, maybe sometime we get together, we can go play ball, go hit ball at the batting range. So I said, cool, I'll go out and hang out. He's a white guy. I thought he was really cool and stuff like that. Until one day his fiance told me he got mad at her one time because she used to date black guys. And I'm like, okay, but you used to, that was then, but what about now? You're not dating no black guy now. You with him. You're a white woman. You date with him. But it was just psychological racism, that he couldn't heal the fact that his wife was with the black guy. I was like, at one time before he got with her, and it's just one of those things that happen. It's like, but she's not with the black guy now. She didn't even have a baby. She don't even have no kids with the black guy. But it's that psychological racism, man. That's from the past and from the present. That people can't handle that. And it's that some of the people who are racist try to justify in sleeping with women who are of color. But yet they have an excuse to say, I'm not racist. I got a black friend. I got a black girlfriend. And history knows that don't mean nothing. Slave masters had concubines. Thomas Jefferson, different individuals. They had slaves. Then they think that a black slave was not even equal to 3/5 of a human being. That don't mean nothing. That means you want to conquer something that puts your seed and make you feel like you feel validated. That you slept with something with the indigenous. That don't, you can still be racist. They rape. The racists rape too. And it definitely was sometimes, in some situations, it was not. They had children out as wedlock that wasn't out of love. The psychological racism is the worst racism of the 21st century. And the psychological where they try to spin your mind. I'm not racist, and one of my best friends, my dog is black. I mean, something ridiculous. My neighbor is black. I'm not racist. Hey, just if you're racist, you're racist. Just go ahead and admit that you're racist. I mean, what's the big deal? It's nothing new. And so people like that one good thing about it, that Donald Trump just emboldened that, because now they feel like he looks like what we represent. He can say whatever he say. It's not gonna cost him because he's a billionaire. And a person's a billionaire, it ain't gonna affect them from being a racist. It's not gonna affect them from being a racist. Because it's someone who thinks like them, who is racist, is gonna somehow support their cause anyway, whether it's in the national spotlight or in not a national spotlight. So it's not gonna affect them too much. But the people, like recently I heard about Roseanne Barr, and instead of just manning up and just saying, hey, what I said was incorrectly was wrong, when she turned around, I thought she was white. You sound like a fool. What difference does it make if she was or she wasn't? The intention was, what you said something like this before about a group of people. about black people. I'm pretty sure she did. And there was a YouTuber that pointed that out, that she has said racist statements before. But it's that underlying, that coded, I'm going to throw something out here, and then when someone catch it off guard, oh, no, you taking it out of the whack, you taking it out of the, no, it's not out of whack. It's no secret that there's some people, just because they of a certain religious faith, that are prejudiced. There's some Muslims that are prejudiced. There's some Christians that are prejudiced. There's some Jewish people that are prejudiced. And by her being of the, and saying that I'm Jewish, I can't be prejudiced. Well, there were Jewish people, when they arrived to America, was make movies about, they targeted blacks as the most inferior, animalistic people on the planet. So they would make movies, and they get sponsors and stuff like that. And you had people like Al Jolson dressed up in black face and whatever, and say "Mammy." So, obviously trying to make money to mock black people, and that's nothing new. It's said, wait a minute, I can't be Jewish, I can't be prejudiced because I'm Jewish because my parents was in the Holocaust and da 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 da. That don't mean nothing. Anybody can be prejudiced and racist. Just because your people have suffered, that don't excuse you from not being prejudiced or racist. Just because you're part of a religion or race. I mean, you have people in the Middle East start targeting Africans because they don't think they treat them like animals. But even though that they could be targeted from somebody who's white, calling them out their name in some Western part of the world, but yet they project their racism on who else? Someone who's darker than them, who society consider a lower class. And so you look online, you look on YouTube or some part of the world, and you hear some of the stories of the people who are African or dark complected people getting treated like second-class citizens, and they can't even get a job or they can't make a business in their own part of the world simply because they're black, considered black in their own country. But and then when you confront these people, we're not racist. We're not racist. And I remember my friend, he said, James, everybody's racist. Everybody's got some prejudice in them. And I said, you know what? He's right. Because I've seen it. I've experienced it, seen it myself, and seen it online, experienced it seen it from my own self. You got people that come from other nations that come to this country, that look down on certain groups here that they know are not of a certain class. And as long as they can stay away from them, and you better not bring one home in the family. You better not bring one of these people home. And your daughter, your son date one, because they ostracize, cast them out to the side. You have hit the lowest of the low. You might as well go out there and go marry they'll go marry a damn dog or animal before they bring a person of color into the family. That's the truth. That's how deep-seated this racism, psychological racism, is in the 21st century. It's from the past and it's in the present. And people just don't want to keep it real with it. And it's sadly that there's some black people who are willing to push it aside, that just say, no, it's just, they'll make up an excuse. And I used to be one of those kind of people. Until you go through enough racism, you see it in different formats when you go and move and go get an apartment, go get a better job, try to improve them. And as you're rising up for your quality of life, you're going to encounter some racism. I've encountered it in the church. I mean, in a white church, an Hispanic church. Yeah, I mean, it's like, man, it's supposed to be on the Lord's Day. And as soon as you step in out, they people split like the Red Sea. No, they don't want to grab a neighbor's hand, and they make sure don't grab the Negro's hand. Yeah, people purposely they do that right in front, right in the face of God. They do that right in the face of God. So even God's house has racism. Right in the face of God. God made the people But when it comes to people in this planet, some people they don't mind if God come to their terminology. God just gonna bless their people. God just gonna bless their class, their race of people. And then he'll eventually get along with the other people. Oh, you got some people that think like that. And then not only that they think like that, they project it out like that. There's some people, they just and they do.
It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Sunday, a good day to correct some false teaching and lies that you've been told while sitting in church or even watching movies, reading books. Moses, chosen by God, given the Ten Commandments. Most of the laws are based on that today. Even your Constitution in America some of it is based on the Ten Commandments. Moses, born in Africa, raised by Africans. Moses was a Hebrew, an Israelite, and a black man. All Hebrews were black. He married a woman from Ethiopia, and his sister Miriam didn't like this. She didn't like it because Ethiopians had a different culture to them. So she was talking bad about Moses marrying out of his race. So God was listening to this, and God said, Miriam, Aaron, who the one she was gossiping to, and Moses, please come to the temple steps. I have some things I want to speak to you about. So they were on the temple steps, and he said, Miriam, you have been talking about your brother Moses, slandering that he's marrying outside of his culture. That is a sin. He said, so for your punishment, I'm going to strike you with leprosy and whiteness. So she was struck to become a white leper. Now, you can read all this for yourself. The whole story is in Numbers 12, starting at verse 1. So then Moses saw this, and he said, please, God, she's my sister. She probably didn't mean to talk about me like this. Please, I beg you, restore her back. I don't want my sister to be a leper. So God, he loved Moses, so he said, Moses, if she was talking bad and your father found out and spat in her face, for 7 days she would be ashamed and have to stand outside the house. So for 7 days then, she will become a white leper. Then after 7 days, I will restore her. But do not forget this lesson. So this you can read for yourself. So next to racism, which is a very dark thing in people's hearts, is jealousy and envy. And be very careful, because what the Bible says about envy is, and you can read it, Proverbs 14:30, it rots your bones.
It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to.
Well, I'm coming to the end of this video, but it's a lesson to be learned. But yeah, I did that video about 3 or 4 years ago, and it still rings to this day. But yeah, that's the reality of it about people skin color, something that God put on the body. And I believe some people don't believe in God, but the ones who do and know that believe in God but still have prejudice, what are they going to say when they stand before Him? I agree with the lady, and it's dark in their heart. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let it be a teaching lesson to somebody. And if someone out there that is a bigot and is a racist, maybe get something to think about. What she said, because what she telling you is the truth, and it's right there in the translations of the Bible. Pick one up, read it. Maybe you would change your mind. Maybe you would change your heart. For those out there who are the biggest. So I hope you enjoy this video. Next time, and share it, black people. This persecution is going to end soon. Mark my word. Take care.